Welcome to today's show, Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, passionate, inspirational speaker, author, poet, and entrepreneur. Good morning, and welcome to Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm so delighted that you joined me this morning. Today is Wednesday, December 27th. I have a great show for you today. Today's show is all about staying alive. That's right, staying alive. I want to focus specifically on how we keep our culture and ourselves alive and well, especially for folks who come from cultures or countries outside of the U.S., but who now call the U.S. home. One of the ways we do that is through special celebrations. Another is through the music we listen to, or the activities we engage in, the foods we eat. Sometimes we even set aside a special time of the day, or the week, or the month, a time devoted specifically to indulge in or to remember important aspects of our home culture. Now, for African Americans, like me, one of our special celebrations happens to be at this very time of the year. That celebration is called Kwanzaa, and it always begins the day after Christmas on December 26th. The Kwanzaa celebration takes place during a 7-day period. Now, some people are wondering, so what is Kwanzaa? And why is it so special? Is this holiday only for African Americans, or can anyone celebrate Kwanzaa? Well, I'll answer these questions. In fact, I'll answer these questions about Kwanzaa and much, much more. But first, I want to give a great big thank you to those of you who are listening in today. I also want to give a great big shout out to all of you listening all around the world. I'm just delighted that you joined me, that you tuned in this morning. I sure hope you're having a fabulous day today, and that you're enjoying a fantastic week, because you know what? In the grand song of the universe, life is very, very short. It's short, sweet, and oh, so very precious. So, I hope you're making a difference in your own life, because when you do, you also make a difference in someone else's life. When you make a difference in your own life, you make a difference in someone else's life. Now, a lot of folks ask me, what do I have to do to make my life count for something? They ask me, Dr. Gloria, how do you do that? Well, it's really very simple. Very simple. You make your life count day by day, step by step, moment by moment, every single day. 365, 24/7. That's what Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count, is all about. You can learn more about Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count by visiting the Gloria Burgess website. That's Gloria, B as in boy, URGESS.com. That's the Gloria Burgess website, Gloria, B as in boy, URGESS.com, or by visiting Facebook, Facebook.com/DR for Dr. DR, GLORIA, BURGESS, PHD /. Okay. Now for today's show. It's all about staying alive, about how to stay alive from a social and a cultural perspective. Now, I'm not talking about merely surviving. I'm talking about staying alive to thrive and to flourish. Today's show is all about how to keep our culture and ourselves alive and well. And it's especially for folks who are from cultures other than the U.S., but who now call the U.S. home. It's also for people who want to learn more about people from other cultures, or maybe you have someone in your neighborhood or at your church or synagogue or mosque or at school. You know, it really is it's for everyone, right? All right. So I like to think about staying alive as a way of staying fit. Staying fit. I'm talking about fitness and staying fit from a holistic point of view. So we're talking about spiritual fitness, physical fitness, intellectual fitness, psychological fitness as an individual and as part of a group or a collective of other people. So Kwanzaa is about me, and it's also about we. Me means me as an individual, and we means me as a vital member of the community and the community as a whole. Okay? So it's one of the many, many ways that African Americans stay focused and vibrantly connected to their roots, their culture, their sense of identity, their core values, and the principles and practices that make them whole, healthy people in their relationships, in their family, in their community, and at work. Kwanzaa is the African American holiday celebrated for 7 days. 7 days back to back from December 26th to January 1st. So today is the third day of Kwanzaa. Now, it's estimated that about 18 million African Americans take part in celebrating Kwanzaa. And although we don't really know for sure how many other ethnic and racial groups celebrate Kwanzaa, we do know that many people participate in this joyous holiday, whether you're African American or not. I'm part of a community of folks in the Seattle area, a community called Cultural Reconnections, who celebrate Kwanzaa. In fact, a very, very dear friend of mine just returned from Africa, from Cameroon. She was there as part of a cultural reconnection mission, sharing her work here and learning about the culture in Cameroon. And she also went there specifically to share some products that she and others, many others, made to give to young girls there. Now, she's going to also be sharing what she did in Cameroon as part of the Kwanzaa celebration that we have here locally. So I'll say a little bit more about my friend's work later in the show. Now, some people think that Kwanzaa is a religious holiday. It's not. Some folks believe it was created to compete with Christmas and Hanukkah, right? But as I just said, Kwanzaa isn't a religious holiday, nor was it intended to replace Christmas or any other holiday for that matter. Kwanzaa was actually created in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga, a professor of Black Studies. So this year, 2016, marks the 50th annual Kwanzaa holiday. Now, some of you know that 1966 was a time of great social change and social struggle and upheaval for African Americans in the United States. Dr. Karenga's idea was to design a celebration that would honor, that would pay tribute to the values of ancient African cultures and inspire African Americans who were working so diligently for progress in a culture that was really not all that ready to be receptive to them. This holiday, Kwanzaa, is based on the year-end harvest festivals that have taken place throughout Africa for thousands of years. The name comes from a Swahili phrase that means first fruits of the harvest. I like that, first fruits of the harvest. Karenga chose a phrase from Swahili because the language is used by various peoples throughout Africa. What I love about Kwanzaa is that each of the 7 days honors a different value and a distinct principle. I also love that the values and principles are very much aligned with the values, principles, and practices of legacy living. These values and principles are believed to have been key to building strong, productive families and communities in Africa. Now, I'm going to share these key principles and values of Kwanzaa. There are 7 of them, right? I'm going to say their Swahili name, and I'm going to say what it means just in regular conversation. So the first value, principle, is called umoja. Umoja. Umoja means unity. Unity stresses the importance of being together for family and the community. Umoja, or unity, is also reflected in the African saying, I am we. Yes, I am we, or I am because we are. I am because we are. All about togetherness, family and community being together. The second core value or principle of Kwanzaa is kujichagulia. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Kujichagulia. All right. And that means self-determination. Now, self-determination requires that we define our common interests and make decisions that are always in the best interest of family and community. The third principle, that's the principle that we're on today, the third day of Kwanzaa, is called Ujima. Ujima or Ujima. And that means working together. It's all about collective work and responsibility, which reminds us of our obligation to the past, present, and future. To the past, present, and future. And that we have a role to play in community, society, and the world. Now, later in the show, I'll say more about Ujima, because we celebrate Ujima today, the third day of Kwanzaa, and today is that day. Ujamaa, the fourth principle, means supporting each other. Cooperative economics emphasize our collective economic strength, and it also encourages us to meet common needs through mutual support. Now, there's a really strong theme here, right? About family, community, mutuality, being together. The fifth principle, or value, of Kwanzaa is called Nia. Nia. Nia means purpose. Now, purpose encourages us to look within ourselves and to set personal goals that are beneficial to, guess what? Beneficial to the community. The sixth value